Good afternoon and welcome to yet another live broadcast here on NBA Sport. It is the second semi-final. Kenya ranked 33rd on the world rankings, right there with your lineup spelled out by Jerome Powerwater, and against Zimbabwe, who are ranked 26th, having a go at each other. John Vianesima, I'm going to be your commentator this afternoon here on the final day of the semi-finals in the Rugby Africa Cup 2025.
I expect a lot of hard hitting, a lot of very, very swift running, and it's going to be tactical because both teams have played against each other numerous times. They should be getting to the front foot very, very early. And of course, our own Robert Mutimba is in the middle to oversee proceedings.
Just threw the ball quite nicely there for them to gain the advantage. Matthew Mandioma. The kick back there by the Kenyans, but Zimbabwe just pick it up there quite well. Tapiwa Mafura.
It will also come into play how the teams set up their series. And you see Silky running there.
Away with shot number 13 there, getting the touchdown. Brown on Mudie Kendiezi with the first try of the game. That looked quite easy, Alan. Good recycling there by John Kobu there. And then number 13 for Kenya, just darting in. That's Bryson Agesa Daka. And Kenya, that's a knock-on this time. A bit of the pressure, a bit of the nerves there that are setting in on Bethwell Anami.
Also, you see what they're made of, because then your next decisions are based on how this lineup goes.
Just look at the anxiety among the Kenyan fans there, in anticipation of something from this moving mall. But then
try time, Kenya.
For the Kenyans. Wow, that is quite a quick reaction. Hope we can get to see who actually touched the ball down. So it's 5-5 already. That just tells you how the tone has been set for this one, Alan. It's a penalty. For the high tackle on the ears, and that you saw that incident. I thought it was quite huge.
Then warrant a penalty kick, and Ian Pryor clearly with a shot at goal. I didn't want to give him the commentator's card.
Yes, I think the kicking tee has been brought, but then there's that wind that is blowing. Man, that many Ugandan fans will remember for what he did in the Elgon Cup in 2023.
And then he was just fresh in the Kenya colors. So, well, a Fijian coming and showing you good state and good momentum. But he has lost to Uganda a couple of times because Liam Walker did punish him and put him on the losing end.
And that was a fantastic kick. Splits the balls. It's 8-8. Securing the ball at this point will definitely... And yes, that's great execution there, and as the ball is well picked up by Kudakwashe. Almost formed a rolling more there. Mudariki, and he's held back. The captain, scrum half. The ruck is well secured here. The Zimbabweans continuing to pound here, getting ever closer to the try line. They're thinking of, that's a very big tackle coming in from the Kenyans to stop Godfrey Muzanago. Zimbabwe again. Zekeri, and that's a touchdown this time by the captain.
Mudariki.
Fantastic play by the Zimbabweans to extend their tally to 13 points. Now that needed some real magical play.
Hilton Mudariki applying the finishing touch. And what can we say about the spade work done there? The big man also showed a sleight of hand. He was able to escape the attentions. And then you see the pop pass. Hilton Mudariki was able. Yes, you just mentioned him a short while ago with a big carry.
Yeah.
He failed to reach the line, but he had the presence of mind to pop the ball.
Good defensive player, and it's now Kenya's Ephraim Bwire Odu, the lucid. He finds Andy Kolomolo. Zimbabwe doing a good job picking back the Kenyans, Alan.
Yes, I think that the Kenya Simbas, the back line is guilty of being a little pedestrian there. As John Kubu picked up the ball and passed it to Barry Young, I think they lost momentum because Barry Young wasn't going at full flight. And there the Kenyans playing at a penalty advantage for the player not rolling out of there. What he
Yeah, with a chance to get Kenya to 11 points, John Kubu. And he splits the pause, and it's 11-13. The pressure is maintained by Kenya. They are not about to let the Zimbabwe Sables run away from them in this closely contested semi-final.
The resumption. They don't count the halftime break, because then you wouldn't be back anyway.
Yeah.
So they'll be so a little bit of fortuitous, a little there for them. They have 10 minutes. As McNabb tries to get the chicken wing, and Chow, he is a quick man, and if there's nobody there, he is going to find his way.
Wow. And Kenya, right at the stroke of halftime, get the try in. And it is Griffin Chow, the man that got into the sin bin earlier, is the man that gives Kenya the lead at halftime, 16-13. I guess Zimbabwe will never know what hit them, but clearly, looking at the point where McNabb drops the ball, he left a gap behind him, which was exploited by that man in the picture, Griffin Chow. Just look at that.
I think that was just a little too elaborate from
Hilton
Mudariki. Look at his running style. Legs are up. He's running on his toes. True sprinter. He dots down, and he will give you the customary celebration, because he loves find the white line. And with his pace, you can clearly see that nobody was going to catch him. Again, we wonder, where was the fullback at that point in time? Because there has to be some cover at that point. And then you see Griffin celebrating John Kubu.
And he splits the post. And he's 18-13. Does, of course, Griffin Chow remind you of yourself? We have it all to play for in the second half, and we don't expect that it should be any less exciting here on NBS Sport. Halftime score, Kenya 18, Zimbabwe 13. A place in the final is at stake here at the Rugby Africa Cup. Yeah, anything that you can get from this phase of play as Jobe prepares to feed the ball in for the Zimbabwe Sables. Keegan Jobe. It's picked up here by Dylan Utete. Makes progress in terms of territory, puts pressure on the Kenyans. The rock is secured. The Zimbabweans must be smelling blood here. But then the tackling is coming in from Andy Kolo Molo of Kenya. Zimbabwe persisting, pressing on. And just look at the battering rams there that are involved in trying to get Zimbabwe over the line. If they got a try here, it would level the game to be 18 apiece. And just look at Madia Omo, the hooker. Gets the ball again. They've got to make sure that the ball keeps moving. Otherwise, they still present the ball, the Zimbabweans. Yoma gets it, and then they are pushing on. And that is a try by the Zimbabweans.
That's Utete, the man who's just come on. What an effort, what a driving pick up there. The pick and drive eventually paying dividends with 2 points to follow off that charity strike. Utete did pump his feet, had the presence of mind to keep it in hand and keep it tight, keep it locked. Try time.
Yes,
the Zimbabwe Sables.
Yeah, good play there as Muteshi Anami, just playing as the 8th man of Kenya, just couldn't hold him back as he came with all the brute force. Now Zimbabwe with a chance to gain the lead again if they can split the pose here through Ian Pryor.
We talked about that, and we talked about their possession and their dominance on getting points on the board at that point in time. That flags go up. Ian Pryor has split the uprights. He is 2 for 4.
I'm surprised also that the Kenya Simbas have kept their two of their front row players, and that is Ephraim Bwire, the Lucid, and the tight end Will Height Mususi. I'm just surprised that 70-point mark, and they're still on at this level.
Because a lot of work has gone in for them to contain the scrums, and the amount of work that the big boys have been throwing at them on the defensive end means as Ian Pryor lines up the drop kick. Ian Pryor, perfect off the boot.
It's an extra 3 points for the Zimbabwe Sables now. And this is definitely Champara, who plays for the Heathens, supporting Zimbabwe.
like we said, they are going to be friends of Zimbabwe, and there are going to be a number of them and a couple of them That was well set up there by Ian Pryor. He had the poise, and as soon as he struck that, he knew. He just said running back to his half.
6 minutes to play. Zimbabwe will be happy about proceedings here. They lead by 5. At one point they were trailing by 5. Kenya, wrong entry again. So it's a penalty to Zimbabwe.
Ian Pryor lines this one up.
And he knows that if he can't split the poles here and Zimbabwe get to 26, even if Kenya were to get a try and convert it, they would still be trailing by at least at 1 point.
Oh yeah, it is very, very crucial that he gets them over that 7-point mark, because then that takes the game farther and farther away. It looks good. Splitting the uprights. Ian Pryor. What a penalty. What a kick again. Coming to the fore late on and being as accurate as should be. There are the fans celebrating. The fans are jubilating. Well, there you go.
The Zimbabwe Sables have got new fans here in Uganda. The Ugandan fans definitely rooting for them there.
Sympathizers, yes. I guess the head watch is paying off a little bit. But
because the rivalry between Kenya and Uganda, there's no way the Ugandan fans would support Kenya. Kenya will keep the fight on. Barry finds Shihundu, who committed the knock-on, and Shihundu doesn't release the ball, and it's a penalty to Zimbabwe. And you can see the celebrations by shot number 13, the man who got the first try of the
Darren.
game. So does Ian Pryor go for pause again here, or he plays for touch?
This is a little bit out of his depth. I would think it's a little far out. They would want possibly, if I am the coach, I would call for a scrum down here, because the scrum down allows me to spend as much time, and it is a surer option than the line out. But again, they have been doing well on both fronts, so I bet he'll kick and find touch as far as he can go.
Well, he's going for pause. Ian Pryor wants to make sure that Zimbabwe create a gap between themselves and Kenya.
Beautiful ball, world flair, world Africa rugby.
Yeah, Rugby Africa.
Ian
Pryor
applies violence, and it's in.
29 Zimbabwe, 18 Kenya. And now is that the point where, for a Kenyan fan, your spirits are deflated?
Well,
just 3 minutes left on the clock. Actually 2 minutes, and the Zimbabwe fans are in delirium here. Yeah, because they were leading 18-13 at halftime, and as you can see, there's no point there.
There is the intercept. Does he have enough?
Well, the flag goes up. He had stepped out. It's a ball to Zimbabwe. Ashihundu had the run in, but he was tackled before he could beat the try line. So it is a line out for Zimbabwe.
And that, for me, is a mad defensive play.
See that?
Jube first stopped him enough, and then in comes the onrush. He deserves the man of the match accolade, Tino Mabesere. He deserves the man of the match just for that try-saving tackle.
But then they lose the ball in the line out. The Kenyans receive it.
Try time to the Kenya Simbas. What a mistake there. But maybe it's a little too late, because the hooter should be going anytime now.
And John Kubu.
Well, he wants the restart.
Steady Victor picks up the ball like that, and he just touches down, and you can see how the Zimbabwe players are not happy about themselves, their teammates, and the way they executed at the line out. I think he would just want a restart.
Yes, he actually just wanted the restart.
Peter was surprised. Why wouldn't he just take the kick?
Well, he is looking at a situation where if he takes the kick, then the game will end.
Interesting. See, Kenya are hoping that they could possibly get another try and convert that one instead.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and that's really the thought process. They don't want the kick. Let's have the restart. And what does Robert Mutimba say?
and put the pressure on Zimbabwe. That's really, really a rare situation, I must say, Alan.
No, it works very well in the sevens game where you can actually refuse to take the restart. But as long as you've scored within regulation time, yeah, I think they are applying. I think they are applying they want to apply the sevens rule, and they say give us a restart so that they can contest for it.
So if they can kick the ball to if the Zimbabweans kick the ball to them, then they receive it, and then they can launch another attack, hopefully get a try, and then they get the 7 points, or rather get the 5, and then can convert, and then they lead 30-29.
So again, it's a game of very fine margins. So Ronald Wutima must be telling them that whatever it is that you are saying, let me just consult upstairs. Let me consult the other referees to see if the try was scored within regulation. So that, and then, kick or not, it is over. The Zimbabwe Sables are through to the final where they can contest for a place at the World Cup, or if not, they go for the repechage tournament.